Good evening and welcome to the Drive at 5 on IntellectualRadio.com/iHeartRadio station. I'm your host, Roman, and we have a great show planned for you today. But first, the forecast from our IntellectualRadio.com Weather Center. Today, sunny and hot, high 90 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy, warm and humid, low 74 degrees. Tomorrow, very warm in the morning, otherwise humid with sun and clouds, high 87 degrees. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, warm and humid, low 73 degrees. The rest of the week forecast looks like this. Wednesday, thunderstorms in the afternoon, high 85 degrees. Thursday, partly sunny, warm and muggy, high 86 degrees. And on Friday, partly sunny, warm with thunderstorms in the area, so keep your eye to the sky, high 87 degrees. The Drive at 5 is part of the Monday Night Mogul with One Sister to Another with your girl Angela Johnson at 4 p.m. Straight No Chaser with your girl Rhea Ray Harris at 6 p.m. New Black Leadership at 7 p.m. and Chronicles of Ram at 8 p.m. We have this show called The Dope Show, and it's featured at 9 p.m. I always make fun of that show. The Drive at 5 is also part of the fabulous 5 at 5, only on IntellectualRadio.com. Today, my guest is a motivational speaker, visionary leader, women's marketplace mentor, and author of Millionaire MOM Group.
Yes.
Group. Please give a Drive at 5 welcome to Lakeisha Stringfellow.
Yes.
I said it right.
You did.
Okay, welcome to the Drive.
Thank you.
Please give IntellectualRadio.com/iHeartRadio station your background.
Oh, well, I am, this is all new to me. I am a two-time author, recently authored a second book called Empower Moments for the Everyday Woman. It's a 31-day devotional. So I actually started this journey about 2 years ago, just seeking to find a better me. And walk through my fears. And so here I am today sitting with you on your radio show.
Oh, okay. You have an extensive medical background.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Okay. How you transform your background into assisting others and motivating them?
Well, I'm a medical assistant by trade. Been in the field since about 2003. And because I love people and love to see people healed and love to see people just motivated and living a healthy life, I was able to, I am able to, use that in the field, in my medical profession, as well as what I do on a personal and business level.
Is that hard to combine?
It's not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Because you're passionate what you're
Because
doing.
I'm very passionate about what I do, and because it's just a part of who I am. I'm just that person. I love people. I love helping people. I love motivating people. I love encouraging people. So I'm able to do that in the doctor's office, as well as when I'm out speaking or writing, or through my writing and speaking.
You have a strong religious background as well. With prayer line called the Powerful Prayer Call to uplift others, elaborate on why is the prayer call is needed in today's society. Can you elaborate on that?
Absolutely. I believe that prayer is powerful, and I'm called to be a prayer warrior. That's who I am. And so I believe that, oh my goodness, sometimes people say, we need to do more than pray. But I think that if we stuck to prayer, because of course, being a Christian woman, I read the Bible. I'm a Jesus chick. That's what I love. And I believe that the prayers of the righteous availeth much. And that if we stuck to the prayers, if we stood steadfast and unmovable, we will be able to see a change in our communities.
In what way?
In so many different ways. I believe that if we began first with ourselves in prayer, others, but we need to make sure that we're healthy, mind, body, and spirit. That's number one. And I believe that I've been praying a lot about, because I'm talking about, I'm sorry, reaching out in the communities. Um, I believe that once we get healthy in our mind, body, and spirit, we're able to reach out in the communities and help these young people. They're struggling, they're hurting, um, they are looking for something. They're searching for better. They're searching for love, but they don't have that. They've not been taught it. They don't have it in their homes, and they need that from just the everyday regular people. We sometimes walk down the street and we see these young people and they're being rowdy and they're being ruthless, and we don't want to deal with them. And I believe if we stop and pray first, we have to keep ourselves before God, and then we're able to keep them before God. Because if we're not healthy and whole, we can't. They don't see that, and I believe that because um, what's from the heart reaches the heart. And so if your heart is not pure, they know that we're not able to tap into what we need to do.
How someone's heart is pure or not?
Excuse me. I believe that
Do you think it's a
I
spiritual
believe that
thing?
it's absolutely a spiritual thing.
I mean, because you can tell someone is, like a lot of people say, "Oh, I think you're genuine,"
Hmm.
or "I think you have a nice spirit."
Yes.
Are you talking about that, or are you talking about on a deeper
Well,
level?
I'm talking about on a deeper level. On a deeper level, when I say what's from the heart reaches the heart, because I truly believe. I mean, even as an example, if you see sometimes infants or babies, some babies or infants, they'll cry and bawl, if there's a certain adult around. But then there could be a totally different adult that they don't know, they've never seen, and that person can calm their spirit. They can calm that child. And I believe that that's what I mean when what's from the heart reaches the heart. Genuine, pure. Um, I believe that they know. I'll give you one example. I was riding down. I was getting off the expressway at 67th and the Dan Ryan, and the guy was playing the buckets. And of course, we're all irritated by the bucket players. Sometimes I am. Sometimes I would say, not we all. And I say
Are
that.
they in front of your house,
No,
or?
no, no. The bucket boys.
But
They're
they're
by the
downtown.
expressway. They are, and they're everywhere, not just downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I would say the irritation slightly comes from some of them feel entitled. You should give them money. I had a girlfriend where he tapped on her window like, "Hey, where's the money?" Anywho, that's not a part of this story. This story example that I'm giving you, this young man, and I've asked God to soften my heart. And so I was able to even feel his heart as he played. And so I let down my window and I gave him whatever it was that I gave him. And he began to him even as he was playing the buckets. And then once I raised my window down and gave him some money, he just started telling me this story about how he was robbed. And he told me, he felt like he was in a Job season. And he said, "Pray for me. Pray for me." And he told me that he loved me. And that really touched me. But that's a perfect example of what's from the heart reaches the heart. I don't know this man. He's never seen me before. How did he even know that I was a Christian woman? And so that's what I mean by what's from the heart reaches the heart. You have to be genuine. You have to be pure, because people see that, they know that, and that's what draws people in.
But some people pretend to be genuine.
Some
Some
people,
people,
mhm,
and you're saying you can see through that.
absolutely, you'll know who's
How
pretending to
how
be.
how can you see that?
I don't. I think it's just on an individual basis. It's just what's negative, and because people will definitely show you who they are. That is a true statement.
But sometimes it takes time for
Sometimes it takes
people.
time.
I mean, when you invest
Absolutely.
in someone,
Hmm.
it's hard because let's talk about friendship, for
Okay.
example. If you have a friend and it's the woe's me, nobody, you're doing what normal people would do,
Hmm.
and turns out it's a flat out lie. You're saying, "I believed in this person, I put my neck out, so forth and so on."
Hmm.
This person, total opposite. And a lot of people have gone through that.
Absolutely.
You say what?
To that, I would say this. In my 40 years, I've learned that you cannot allow other people's actions to dictate who you are. You can't allow other people's actions to change who you are. And so everyone is not genuine. Everyone is not coming from a wholesome place. And you're asking, how would I know that? Sometimes you don't know that right away. Sometimes you're able to pick that up right away. You just have to be, if you're in a good space, and if you're coming from a great place, and if your heart is in the right place, it doesn't matter what the other person, whether they are or whether they're not. It just teaches you, again, that goes back to prayer. You have to keep yourself in prayer, and then you now know what you need to pray for that person. You can't take it personal. You can't internalize. It's sad that we do have those types of people in the world, but that also most of the time those people are in a hurt place. So it's just a lot of different things that could be going on.
I take, because a lot of people get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm hurt doesn't give you the right to hurt somebody else.
It's true.
But they're saying it's an exception because I'm hurt. My mom hurt me. My dad hurt me. This person hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
My girlfriend hurt
Mm-hmm.
me. So if a girlfriend hurt me, that gives me an excuse to hurt 5 other different women. It gives me an excuse because a guy hurt me. I can do the same thing to 5 different men. It's no excuse. But they have an excuse. And how you explain that, because they said I'm hurt, it gives them an excuse to hurt somebody that didn't do nothing to them.
Well, I've never. Okay, so that's absolutely everything that you're saying is absolutely true. But here's the thing: hurt people, and majority of the time, I do not believe that it's intentional.
Come on.
Let me tell you why I don't believe that it's intentional. I don't believe that.
Give you a scenario. If somebody is having a bad day, I'm going to use Wanda as an example.
Okay.
If Wanda is having a bad day, I come in, hey, Wanda, what's it to you? I'm like, okay, Wanda. I mean, it's kind of like you're going to beat me up because something somebody else done to you.
Right.
I mean, don't you think it's wrong without evaluating and saying, you know what? I'm going to take it back. I was wrong. People don't do that. The common, what I'm getting at is when somebody is hurt, they don't know the phrase apology. My bad. I am sorry. Oh, my bad, homie. That's not an apology.
It's not.
But the stuff you have done to me, there's nothing you could say. What happened to the genuineness of people, as you said? But it gives them a right because they were hurt in the past to do something in the present because they were hurt.
I don't think that it necessarily gives them a pass, but I think that as a genuine person, myself, I'm a genuine person. It gives me a different outlook. It gives me a different perspective on that person. It helps me to not internalize other people's actions. So if I came in and Wanda was absolutely rude to me, I believe that I believe that I have the power to even change that around.
How?
Because of who I am as a person. The power and the energy lies in you. What is your energy like? What is your position? So if to me, if someone responds negatively to you, and then you in turn respond negatively to them, then you need to evaluate yourself because you're not in a
wait a minute
a genuine space. It doesn't give us the right as people to have negative interactions because of the wrongdoing of someone else.
So if someone approach you, let's say curse you out, you're going to say, okay, God bless you.
Okay, don't get me wrong. I am not Jesus. I do not turn the other cheek all the time.
That's where I'm getting at.
I mean, I guess it just depends on what the situation is. You come punch me in my face, we gonna be brawling. You know what I mean? Because I am a person, and again, I didn't walk with Jesus, and I am not him.
What I'm getting at, not
Okay.
to interrupt, you're talking about human emotion.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is, some people literally think it's okay to either physically hurt someone or emotionally hurt someone by using words. Sometimes words is deeper than a knife. It's okay for them because they were hurt or somebody did something to them. It's okay when somebody had nothing to do with that situation at all. It's okay for them to do that. And you're saying because it's human emotion.
It definitely
and that's what I
is.
was trying to get out of you.
Absolutely. Well, I would say this to that. People believe that it's okay because they haven't been taught anything different. So I can't, is it wrong to think that it's okay to hurt someone else because you've been hurt? Absolutely, it is. But my job, the job of people that are genuine, is to show and love people, to show them something different. Everybody you cannot change. Everybody you cannot help. And I understand that now. Everybody will not like you. Everybody will not respond to you the way that you think that they should, or the way that they probably should. But I have learned to not internalize that. And I think that that's part of the problem. We internalize those emotions, and then we in turn lash out, and we in turn.
But sometimes you can't help but
Yeah,
internalize.
sometimes. Well, I think that you can help. I think that you don't have to internalize. I think that when you have an open mind, and I believe that when you stay before God and you stay in prayer and you stay keeping your energy the way that it needs to be, reading the right things, speaking the right things, you learn to not internalize. Initially, the first initial reaction or the first initial emotion, but when you're walking that walk, you can redirect yourself very quickly. The human nature causes us to do many different things, and it causes us to act many different ways. But again, I say to that, because I am a prayer warrior and because I am a believer, we're able to redirect ourselves, and we're able to, a lot of the times, reach the person, because what's from the heart reaches the heart.
Many people are losing faith because of finances, relationship, job security, violence, and life in general. What do you say to people who are losing their faith? We discussed this like a couple of moments ago. You talk about human emotions. Again, you're saying kind of like turn the other cheek. Have faith. Okay, be still, my child. Those are things that people like. Okay, if I'm hurt, I don't have no food on the table. Have faith. I'm about to get kicked out. Have faith. I'm only wearing the clothes on my back. Have faith. There is an increasing growing number of people who are disavowing themselves from faith. You say?
I say this. All of those people or things that you named, I was there. And so that's why I'm able to say, you have to have faith. You have to stay in prayer. I'm right now going through a very personal situation. Separated from my husband, almost married 8 years. I have two small children, and I have I always say two sets. I have two adult children. They're 21 and 19 boys. My baby is a girl. She's 5. The youngest two, 8 and 5. And so I'm on that end of the spectrum. I've been in a place where I didn't have food in my refrigerator. I've been in a place where I was pretty much homeless. I've been in a place where I was in an abusive relationship. I've been in a place where I turned to drinking and smoking weed. I've been in a place, so I've been in all of those places, which is why I can say that you must most assuredly stand in faith and pray. And the reason why I say that is because in those times when I allow myself to be discombobulated, when I didn't have a strong relationship with God, when I didn't have that, and He was still working, and I wasn't operating in faith, and then to see myself now, when things go awry, they go all, everything gets crazy because that's life and life still happens. And to know that I have the power to control, not necessarily control what's going on, but I can control my emotions. I have the power to control what my next move will be, even in the midst of that turmoil. You have to have faith in something. And I tell people that all the time, whether you believe in God, whether you believe in the GOAT, whatever it is that you believe in, you must do that wholeheartedly. Because if you don't, your life, your mind, all of those things begin to, it goes crazy. You almost feel like you're going to lose it. I've been in that place where I was depressed and having panic attacks. And so that's why I'm able to say that you have to most assuredly have faith, pray, decree, declare, speak what you want to see, because I'm now a witness that those things begin to come to pass.
Some people are saying, why God is allowing this to happen to me or my child? What is God trying to say? They always say, you're a prayer warrior.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lesson. He wants us to learn because of something. He wants us to either do what? The reason is, and I'm being honest.
Absolutely.
It's like, I'm not doing nothing to nobody. I was standing out on the street. I get shot at. I didn't do nothing to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
What are you trying to say to me? Don't you feel like this is part of the reason why people are discouraging and not holding on to faith? Because they're like, okay, I go to church, I pray,
Mm-hmm.
I read the Bible, I do what is going on? I'm fighting. The more I fight, the more things are happening and come in my direction. For what? You say?
I say this.
And to interrupt,
Mm-hmm.
some of the pastors say, thank God for the storm. Why would you thank someone for the storm?
I always say, too, I thank God in my personal prayer time for the storm, because those storms grow me. Those storms have matured me. What I say to, I believe that when we all get in our places, my place is as a prayer warrior. Your place may be as a community activist. And when we all fall into our places, our rightful places, we're able to combat the things that are going on. It's, people believe that you, and even I truly believe that even as a faith believer, I'm not one of those Bible toting, do what God said. I have questions. I believe that we all have questions. The pastors can't tell you that they have questions because they the pastor, right? Right. So I believe that we have to if we all got in our places, our rightful places, and do the things that we're called to do, and then not attach ourselves to what other people are doing. Like, I'm not a community person. You would never see me out walking the community because that's not who I am. And I'm okay with that. But I will pray. And I will pray for those people that are out in the community. And I'm praying for direction on what we need to do in those areas, and give those people the right direction on what they need to do in those areas. And to those people that say, why is God allowing this to happen to me? You have to ask yourself, is God allowing these things to happen to you? We have to look at our lives to see where we need to line up. Even if you're not a believer, even if you don't believe in anything, your life, what goes around comes around. Reaping is sowing. That's in the Bible. And so we think about how we have these babies that are out in the street and they're being shot down dead. And I started to ask God, why? Why are we losing our babies? Why? My 5-year-old daughter came to me crying, and she's not even, we don't live in a city. She doesn't see what's going on with killings and people, our babies, we're losing our babies, but she was crying, like boohoo crying, saying that she didn't want to grow up because she didn't want to die. I had to explain to her that death is a part of life. And when we come here, our stories are written, and we never know how that story is going to play out. And I believe that if we definitely get ourselves to a place of faith in something, believe in something, get ourselves to a place of love. And I'm going back to what's from the heart reaches the heart. I've been in situations where I'm face to face, I'm pretty sure with the killer. Mean, but I know how to redirect. I've learned that you cannot, that it's a part of me going back to I'm on this journey of walking through fear. So much has transpired. It causes us to be afraid, and it causes us to always have our guard up. We always looking to see, you know what I mean? What's the next negative thing that's going to happen? I truly believe that when we change our words, like the summertime come and we always say, "Oh, we know they're gonna start killing." I believe that all of that ties in. We need to start changing our words. We have to. What you speak comes, it comes. We don't understand how powerful life and death lies in the power of our tongues. And we have to start speaking what we want to see.
You motivate teens as well as uplift them. What are the teens saying about the violence that is going on here in Chicago?
Our teens are going through so much, a lot of that they don't even talk about. They are, this has become a way of life for them. And most of them believe that they won't live to see a certain age. And they're okay with that. And that's not okay. They are almost not even afraid. They don't have, and I'll even speak, I have sons. And so my oldest son has moved out of the state. My 19-year-old son is still here. And I moved them away from the violence. And then now I have the concern of my 19-year-old, excuse me, because he, I don't know if this is that they all think that it won't happen to me. It won't happen to me. Or, they're just not scared of it. And that is just not, it's just so commonplace. And I'm just in awe of how common death and gun violence is amongst our youth. They're not scared of anything. A part of the, a part of, I remember being in prayer a couple of months ago, maybe even about a year ago, trying to figure out how are these killings happening? How is it so easy? They just kill and keep it going. I could only imagine that if you kill someone, the torment that you would feel. How come they don't feel that and they can keep going? And it's because of the drugs. These kids now, drugs when I was younger, we smoked weed, but drugs, we weren't doing drugs. These kids are making drugs out of kitchen products, stuff that's underneath your cabinet in the bathroom. And they're popping pills and they're taking these drugs and they're okay with it and they're broadcasting it. Where did that come from?
Well, to answer your question, some of it comes from the culture. Some of it comes from the music.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it comes from, you know, people who wants, you have the Little Waynes, the Little Johns, the this, the that, and the other. I think, to go into my next question, peer pressure, like teen pregnancy, drugs, homelessness. One thing that African Americans are not talking about, it equals depression and high suicide rate among African American teens. As a motivational speaker, what do you say to someone that does not have any hope anymore? And what I mean by that is simply this. My mom kicked me out. My baby mama, every time I try to go see my son or daughter, I can't. They say I'm a negative influence. I can't get a job because I'm an ex-felon. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't do this. I can't. What can I do? I need to eat. I need some place to sleep. And you wonder why the crime is happening, because the resources is dissipating. Nobody's helping me. Nobody's reaching out to me. So, no offense, all this faith and hope while I'm enduring, and you can go to all the scriptures you want, doesn't mean a bit of blankety blank to me. You say to that individual who's losing hope, is on the brink of just ended it all, a teen. According to the CDC, African Americans are above whites when it comes to suicides now. You say to that?
Again, I have to reiterate, love. What's from the heart reaches the heart. Majority of the time when I'm speaking to a young person, the words, I'm never a scripted person. That's not who I am. I'm not a person. I don't know how to quote scripture. I can't tell you. I can tell you it's in the Bible. I'm not that person that can say, go to 1 John, 2 Peter. I'm not her. And I believe God wired me that way purposely. I guess I could sit down and study those things and figure out where they are. That's just not who I am. I'm not an organized person in that manner. And so when I begin to speak, when I'm put in a situation where I have to encourage, when I'm put in a situation where I have to uplift that very person, I truly believe that Holy Spirit speaks through me, and I'm able to, again, what's from the heart reaches the heart, and I'm able to tell that person in that moment and give them exactly what they need. And because I pray, and because I seek God, and because I am who I am in my faith, I am able to get those words and hear. Because majority of the time, I will tell you, I'm never speaking from Lakeisha, Nicole. It's always God speaking through me. And I'm always able to push that person to the next level. What is that level? I'm either finding some help, I'm giving something, because that's who God made me. And that's why I'm able to always go back to faith, and why I'm able to always go back to the word of God, and why I'm able to always go back to prayer, is because I stay in that place.
But some people would say, I tried all that, been there, done that. It's not working. Others will sit there and say, you know what? Don't come to me with that. I've been there. I used to go to church every single Sunday. Now I don't. I'm still alive. I'm still here.
I believe that it's because I've turned into that person where I'm not an every Sunday churchgoer. Because it's not about going to church. It's about relationship. And I believe that when people grasp that understanding, that it's not about you going to every service, Sunday, Wednesday, Monday night, Tuesday night. And I'm going to say this. um, we have pushed people away from the church. And I totally understand that. And I get it now. When I got on a journey of self love and healing and being uplifted in my spirit and begin to meditate and begin to spend time, not just in prayer with God, but time with myself. When I began to be able to redirect my own thoughts, when I began to be able to um, affirm myself and declare things over myself and saw the changes that began to happen. And guess what? I wasn't going to church every Sunday because it's not about going to church. I think that we put too much emphasis on going to a physical church. You need to be connected to someone whose faith is stronger than yours, whose prayer life is stronger than yours, who maybe reads a little bit more than you do. And that may not be the pastor. It may not be at the church. What I've realized is that, a lot of people told me that I was going to preach the word. And I truly believe that God called me to the nations outside of the church. Because there are millions of people that will never go to church because I am the church. I am the church that they will encounter and that they will see. And so I think that if we get that concept and able to spread that and start to have that knowledge that it's not about going to a church, that's why I'm able to reach people.
A lot of people say you go to church to fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
You go to church to build
Right.
a strong, faithful relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You say to the people, okay, I'm open. How do I build a stronger faith? How do I build a stronger relationship with God? I pray every single day. I read the Bible every single day. It's seem like it's going in one ear out the other. Even when the pastors say, oh, the Holy Spirit is there, he's going to convert it and give it to God like a messenger. I can say I've been praying for $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still here.
So to that I say this: what are your motives? We have to evaluate ourselves, and I believe that
Well,
sometimes.
your motives might be different from my
Mm-hmm.
motives. My motives of using money is to either take care of myself, bless others. You never know the true intentions
Mm-hmm.
of others unless you know the heart, like you say.
Right.
You know somebody's spirit. So you'll know the difference if you give somebody the opportunity. If I give you $1 million,
Mm-hmm.
how will I know I will trust you to do the right thing? How will I trust you to do what you say you're going to do? Is that what God is saying?
I believe that God. I don't believe that it's even about what is God saying, because if you steal yourself, sometimes we go in prayer and we just talk, and we leave without ever listening to hear. And so I believe that direction is always given. We're always given direction. So even if you go back to, I've been praying for $1 million for the last 30 years and I haven't gotten it. And when I say, well, what are your motives? Why have you been praying for this $1 million? What would this $1 million do for you? You say that you would do XYZ, all of these good things with $1 million. And that could very well be your intent, but where is your heart really? When you get that $1 million, are you disciplined already in your finances? Before you even receive $1 million, are you disciplined with the $10 that you have? Or do you take that $10 and say, well, all I got is $10 left, so I'm gonna go buy such and such? Are you able to save that? Are you able to break that down and invest? So it's all a part of, it's many different aspects when we talk about why God didn't do this or why God didn't do that. Is it God or is it you? We have to start asking ourselves that. I think that we look for the wrong in being a believer, and we look for the wrong in our lives to connect it to God, because then that will validate every wrong thing that's happening. Say that God's not real. We don't take that time to evaluate who we are and our thinking and the things that we do. So if we can take a step back and do that first, then we can listen. We can have that relationship. We can build, because that's what it's about.
When we come back on intellectualradio.com/iHeart radio station, the Drive at 5 continues with motivational speaker Lakeisha Springfellow. And we're back on the Drive at 5 on intellectualradio.com/iHeart radio station. My guest is motivational speaker, peer mentor, visionary leader, women's marketplace mentor, and author of Millionaire Mom Group, Lakeisha Stringfellow. Correct? Yes. You are an author of Millionaire Moms Group. Please explain to intellectualradio.com/iHeart radio station the Millionaire Moms Group.
So Millionaire Mom is the mom. The MOM is Moms on a Mission. We are a group of ladies that came together under the directive of Miss Alicia Bowens. This is her vision. It's her. So we came together on this project and collaborated with Millionaire Moms. So we call it the Millionaire Moms Project. So there are 10 of us that have authored in this book. We released it in December of 2016. It is many different stories of not tragedy, I would say, but just triumph from being a teenage parent and then becoming successful. Just showing girls that it's possible.
Money is the root of all problems in today's society. Being a mom, how can you save money if you have children? What would you recommend?
I recommend definitely putting aside, sometimes when we think of saving, and I was one of those people, when we think of saving, we think of large amounts of money. But I have learned that if you put away small amounts of money, like maybe even $5 a pay period or $10 a pay period, and you don't touch that money, you'll begin to see it grow. And that's what saving is all about. And because I wasn't taught about finances and still kind of learning some things, that when you discipline yourself to do small to get to big, you definitely see it grow.
More and more single mothers are not saving. However, they are going out, they're traveling, they're hitting the clubs. My question is, how can a single mom save and do things that they like to do?
Well, a single mom can definitely save. A lot of the times you cannot, especially if you are not there quite yet, you cannot save and then do everything that you would love to do at the same time. It's just not economical. You named going to the club, taking trips. You have to decide what's the most important. And then why are you saving?
Sometimes I'm on Facebook, and I know I'm going to spill the beans here. sometimes I'm on Facebook and I'm seeing like, okay, I know this person claimed broke last week and she's out there cheesing in Cancun somewhere. What's up with that?
I believe that sometimes it's just that instant gratification, or sometimes they just need to get away. I'm not that person, so I can't necessarily say what that is exactly. I can only speculate.
I'm not saying that you don't deserve it or the
Mhm.
person doesn't deserve to get out or something like that, but it's kind of like, okay, I'll give you a prime example. If a broke person is giving financial advice, I'm telling you what to do, and I'm claiming I'm broke too next week. Then the following week, I'm somewhere vacation, and you're scratching your head. Oh, okay.
Well, that's when wisdom comes in, and if you can't, you have to know who you speaking with and talking to. You shouldn't be getting advice from a broke person, because you all are going to remain broke together. That's just that's the way life works.
Okay. What if I am spending more than what I have and not saving anything? Your thoughts? I'm spending more money than what I have. I have children. I'm trying to do everything that I can possibly do, but every time I have to do this, I have to do that. The kids needs this, the kids needs that. And every time I try to save or try to do something, a goose egg.
Well, you just have to get to a place, because I believe this as women, we always find a way to make it work.
How?
We just do.
Well,
I think
explain
it's
it to a
intuition.
man.
I'm not necessarily sure that I'm able to explain that in words at this moment. The intuition of a woman, I could take a dollar and make it stretch. Not a literal dollar, but if I had $20 and I have two small children, I can definitely make it through the week. And I believe that that's just a gift that women was given. Now, I think that it's a part of when you have that spending, is that I deserve to have something. We always feel like we deserve to do something. When we have children, we put our most of our money goes towards that, or especially as single moms, towards the bills. You have to do this and you have to do that. And sometimes they'll just take that rent money. I'm going on this trip because I'll just figure it out later. It's the instant, we want
Well,
that
that's
instant.
exactly what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
Why would they do something? Okay, you're saying a woman will find a way, make a way.
Hmm.
But if a guy does the same thing, it's kind of like, oh, well, sorry. Hate to be in your shoes.
But I just believe that if that's man or woman, if that is what you choose to do or how you're living your life, it's a bit reckless. But I believe again, it just goes back to that emotional. We talked about that in the beginning, being emotional and that instant gratification. I never go on a trip. I never get to do anything. I'm gonna take this money and go. And I've been that person. So
But you also found a way to get it back.
right.
My question is, from a male perspective,
Hmm.
because I don't know, you said women find a way.
Well, as me, because I can do so many different things. So
Like,
I do makeup on the side. I do. So you have to, if you're going to be that person that you want to be on the go all the time. Like now, I speak, I'm authoring, and I still work a full time job because I'm not in a place yet where I can be a full time entrepreneur. You just have to maneuver your life and make sure you're on track and make sure you're writing down goals and meeting them. That's what it comes back to. I can't speak for those that are not choosing to. If you find yourself continuously in that space, then you need to check yourself and figure some other stuff out. But when you begin to still yourself and slow yourself down, begin to write down your goals and begin to walk it out step by step, you'll see the change start to happen.
so in essence, you're saying create a visionary board or something like that
Absolutely.
and define your goals. Speaking of defining, define your purpose. because you mentioned in your bio that serving traveling children in faith seems like it completes you. True? How does it complete you?
It does, because I found that that's who when I am doing all of those things that you've mentioned, I'm not in a negative. I'm a thinker by nature. So I think, I overthink, underthink. All of those things are a part of who I am, and I've learned to accept them. But when I'm not doing the things that fulfill me spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, it throws me off track. It sends me to a dark space. And so I have to space where you know the things that bring you joy, peace, where you're harmonizing just with life, your energy with the people around you. And so that's why those things, I'm able to just flow in them. When I stopped running from who I was as a person, who I am, who Keisha is. Keisha is not just a wife, a mother, a daughter, a sister. I am an encourager. I am a speaker. I am an entrepreneur. It's like all of those things define who I am. I am a crybaby. I get emotional.
No.
I am.
You are.
I am. And so I embrace those things about me. And when you tap into the positives of who you are, and you connect them to those negatives, the negatives will begin to fall off, and you'll begin to enjoy yourself and walk out your purpose in life.
Explain to intellectualradio.com/iHeart radio station how they can get a hold of you. If they want to talk to you, have you out for motivational speaking, or get your book.
Sure, you can reach out to me on Facebook at Lakeisha Nicole. I'm also on Instagram at Lakeisha Stringfellow, as well as my website, LakeishaStringfellow.com. Also, I want to kind of throw in Empower Moments. That's my latest book. So Empower Moments is a 31-day devotional for the everyday woman. We have a virtual book club going on Facebook right now, Empower Women. I encourage you to hop on there and join that group, and reach out to me on Facebook so you can get a copy of your book.
All right, that's going to do it for us. See, it wasn't that bad, right? During the break, she was like, oh, Lord have mercy. I need a prayer for you. But see, you'll come back on the drive, right?
I will. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's going to do it for us on the Drive at 5 on the intellectualradio.com/iHeart radio station. Thanks to Earl Winfrey, our executive producer, Wanda, who is behind the scenes, Rhea Ray Harris, who is up next with Straight No Chasers. Guess what, folks? Next Monday, we will have the one and only Chicago Sun-Times reporter, Madeline. I cannot say her last name, but she will be here in the flesh in the studios coming up next week. Have a great week, everyone.